Hello yogis. Today I want to talk to you about SI joint and maybe some low back pain some of you might experience during the practice or daily life. But first of all, I want to make sure that if you have a severe pain or discomfort even with simple movements, please consider go to your physician first and to address it with your medical professional rather than yoga class. Because yoga is not an answer on all your medical questions. It might prevent or help some minor issues going in your body, but with a serious one, you should go to medical help. Okay, so we'll start the class with some portion of physical active exercises and asanas, and then I'll show you some examples of passive stretching and with maybe some minor physical activities to address this pain or discomfort in your lower back. Okay, we'll start next to the wall. So and your heels not gonna be right next to the wall, so maybe about inch or couple inches apart. But make sure that you can feel your glutes on the wall, then roll your shoulders back and feel the whole surface of your shoulder blades touching the wall. Find all the edges of your shoulder blades. And maybe spread your arms slightly wide apart and start to reach towards the ground with your fingers. Your palms are facing forward. The crown of your head is reaching up, and feel the back of your neck, the back of your head on the wall. And maybe roll your head from one side to another, stretching your neck. And feel the connection between the base of your scalp and your middle back. Grow tall from there. And then make sure that your knees are not locked. So it's micro bandage or bandage a lot, like you want to jump. You can bounce there, but keep your shoulders where they are. Then create this bouncy sensation on your knees. Press the ground with your feet, not just with your toes or balls of your feet, but make sure that your heels are active there too. And then feeling your glutes on the ground, start to slide them down without extra bending in your knee, without extra bending in your knee. See if you can bring your low back on the wall. And for this method, you might experience some engagement in your low abdomen, in your groin muscles, and maybe taking your belly button slightly towards your spine, slightly towards the wall. And try not to bend your knees a lot. So feel this motion from your pelvis. So move this tail down towards the ground and maybe even in front of you. So imagine that you have an actual tail, that bring the tail right in front of you and start to pull it towards your belly button. And it's really intense for your spine and for your core. The whole body is working. This is the beauty of yoga. No matter what part of the body you're addressing to, you are working with the whole body as a team. So keep reaching towards the ground with your fingertips and keep reaching up with the crown of your head, super long neck. Feel the wall with your back of the head, with your shoulder blades, with your middle back, maybe with the space between the shoulder blades too. Check on your feet. Make sure that all four corners of every foot is pressing the ground equally. Take another big inhale here. And release. Also, to find a quick release of some squeezing sensation on your lower back or maybe on your hips joints, you can make the same thing but in motion. So if you find the same position when your shoulders are touching the wall, when your glutes touching the wall, grow tall from there, and then take an inhale and with exhale press your lower back to the wall, tail to the ground. Inhale, release. Exhale, press the lower back, and make sure that your legs are not doing anything or just minor movement in your legs. That you're doing that with your trunk, with your core. And then step off the wall, shake it all away. And after all the intense movements, it's really nice to shake it. So imagine like you being a dog coming from the pond. So what the dog would do, it would shake all the way, like the whole body. Okay, so the next one I want you to try is Uttanasana. So in Uttanasana, it's like high tabletop. When your feet are on the ground, hands or fingertips on the floor, your spine length. And I do realize that not everybody can do that, especially if you experience some discomfort in your lower back. So we can get some props here. And I would suggest to use a chair. So you either can use the seat of the chair or the back of your chair for this matter. So start with the back of the chair here. So the same starting position. You're planting your hips to the wall, top of your glutes touching the wall, heels about 2 inches apart from the cover. Take an inhale and then start to lift your sitting bone so you can feel your glutes there. So start to bring your sitting bones up, 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 up higher, like you're sliding them on the wall. Plant your forearms on the back of the chair. And then find this nice connection with your sitting bones and the wall. And print those sitting bones on the wall. Make sure that you're not locking your knees, micro bend them and press the ground with all 4 corners of your foot. And breathe. So from here, from this nice stuck to the wall sitting bones, start to move your chest forward. So you're not hanging here between the chair and your legs. So move your belly button up and move your head forward. So nice and long line from the wall forward. Use your hands wisely too, so you're not hanging between your shoulders, between your arms. Bring your chest above your shoulders joint. Check on your belly button. Press it to the spine column. And breathe. It seems like a really passive pose, but it's not. It's really intense. And if you feel that you can go deeper in the forward fold, you can use the same thing, but bring your forearms on a seat of the chair. It's more intense. Another one, if you feel fine about your wrists, you can plant your hands on the chair, but make sure that you're stacking your wrist and your shoulder. And the same thing, make sure that you're not hanging here between your arms and your legs. The belly button is always reaching up towards the sky. Long neck. Another thing that you can do, bring your right hand in front of your nose on the chair, on the seat of the chair. Bring your left hand on your sacrum, and then you can feel your sitting bones still on the wall. So keep pressing them there. With inhalation, reach forward and then twist, keeping both sitting bones there. And the twist is not supposed to be like really stuck in one shoulder on top of the other. Just gentle twist, and make sure that you're not doing that with your shoulders only, but with your spine muscles. So you're taking your chest away from the hips and twist it gently. With every inhale, elongate your spine. Create more space between your vertebrae and twist gently with exhalation. And then do the same on the other side. So left hand in front, right hand on your sacrum, hips are square, legs are working pretty hard, I know. Inhale here, exhale, twist. Make sure that you're not hanging over your left arm here. So you're lifting your chest above the shoulder joint. Again, the whole body is working together as a team. And bring both hands on the chair. Press the chair away from you. Lift it up. Shake it all the way again. Good. So, as you see, you don't need to move some crazy asanas to create some blood flow in your hips, in your sacrum, in your spine joints. So you just need to engage the whole body to work together. And I want to show some passive stretching, and we'll need some props for that. I would suggest you use those foam blocks, and if you don't have ones, you easily can, purchase them on Amazon, and they're not really expensive. Or you can, well, that's the best option actually. So I would use the block to plant it underneath my sacrum on bridge pose. So you can do that several ways. So first, you can use this side of this block flat or the lowest height of this block to plant it there. It depends on how you feel about that. So we'll start with the easiest version of that. So you're laying on the back, and plant your feet about hip distance apart. Then pressing your hips up, you're sliding this block underneath your sacrum. And just your shoulders passively melting towards the ground, and this might be enough. But let's try to move it a bit. So let's try to add some action to this posture. And if you experience some misalignment of your SI joint, that might help, especially if it's like just from one side misalignment. So bring your right knee towards your chest, and then linking this leg forward. Keep that heel hovering from the ground and see how low can you bring that heel towards the ground without actually touching that. So find this nice alignment on your hip crease, on your hip flexor. Then bring it back to center, towards your chest. Feel that hip flexor here, bring it on the ground. Now let's do the same on the other side. Squeeze that knee towards your chest. Find the stretching right here and kick that heel forward. Taking it as close to the ground, like still bouncing there. So feel this alignment right here. From your core, from the TVA muscles, something on your spine too. Then bring the knee towards the chest again. Plant it on the ground. So another thing that might feel really good, or you might hate it, it depends on what you experience in your body. So you can take this block with this narrow side up, taking it somewhere underneath your lower back and sacrum, and you will feel really quickly if its position is right or not. So let your hips, those wings, just melt down the sides of your block, and let your spine melt down. The belly is completely relaxed, and you can be just here, or you can do the same thing. So lifting your right knee, reaching it forward. Bring it back to center and to the ground. And the same from the other side. Left knee goes towards you, and feel this balance there. So feel which side is more agreeable to those movements. And bring it to the ground. Press your hips up, slide the block away, and then gently, vertebra by vertebra, bring your spine on the ground. And try to fight the urge, bring your knees towards your chest right away. So instead of that, just take an inhale, and the same thing that we did next to the wall. And with exhalation, press your lower back to the ground. Inhale, release. And press it to the ground again. Then tiptoes your feet about mud distance apart. Swing your knees from one side to another. Windshield wiper your legs. And then roll to the left or to the right and lift it up for sitting position. So the next one I want you to show, it will be waterfall pose, and you can do that either in the center of the room or next to the wall. I'll show you both, and you will just pick one, which one is you like more. So the same thing with the block. So the starting position is the same. We'll take this block, and depends of how you're feeling about your lower back today. You will take it on the lowest height, or middle height, or highest height. So, and make sure that you're taking it on the sacrum, so the top of your glute is kind of hanging from the block, but not completely, so you don't have a squeeze of your lower back. So your sacrum is kind of laying flat on this block, and that allows your spine flow down, melt down, your chest is melting down, and belly button is just dropping down. So it might be enough for you, and if it feels good, just stay there. Then you can start to lift your legs one at a time with as little effort in your legs muscles as possible. You can even move them around like a seaweed on the bottom of the ocean. And then find this nice notation of your sacrum, of your pelvis, and find the sweet spot when you can feel your hip bones just melting down, just stuck in their hip socket, and maybe slightly move it to the back, to the floor, from the side of the block. As less effort as it possible. And you might like it or you might hate it. If you do hate it, just stop doing this posture. Bend your knees, plant them on the ground, slide this block away, vertebra by vertebra, bringing your spine down to the ground, roll on any side of the body and lift it up. The most passive version of that waterfall is with the bolster next to the wall. If you don't have a bolster, you still can use the blocks there. So what I'm doing with the bolster here, I'm planting the bolster next to the wall, about 2 or 3 inches apart from the wall, to use that space for my glutes to just melt down between the bolster and the wall, and for my legs to just melt down there. So then I'm sitting next to the wall on the edge of the bolster, planting my left leg towards the wall, and then I start to move my legs up to the wall, spine on the ground, wiggle it around. So you can plant your feet on the floor or on the wall there. Move your hips closer to the wall if you want to, until you feel connection between the top of your glutes and the wall. And then you can just release your legs on the wall, hands wide apart on the ground, and just let it be. With a nice passive waterfall pose. And when you're done with that, when you feel that your belly is completely relaxed, your spine is completely relaxed, there is no tension in your body, and you can be there for as long as you want to. But when you're ready to move on, you can bend your knees, roll from the bolster on any side of your body, and bring it up. So that's about it. And in a minute I'll show you another passive stretching twist that you can address your SI joint pain or low back pain. And also I want to show you how we can address SI joint pain using a passive stretch. So, and I will use my husband as a dummy here. So, bring your right knee, we'll start with the right knee. So bring your right knee towards your chest, squeeze it in. And then you can find some circular movement, greasing the hip joint. Then start to guide that right knee towards the left hand side of your body. And I have the bolster right there for him. So he gets the whole leg there. And then start to gently bring your right shoulder on the ground. And I use the second bolster here. And the edge of the bolster towards his shoulder joint and all the way to the end of the body, to the tailbone. Then, as you can see here, his shoulders is not touching the ground here. So what I'm using is an extra pillow for this shoulder. And I have those blocks handy in case I need them. And then I will give him some adjustments there. So gently press into his hip crease here and create the leverage with the other hand on the hip bone. I'm moving this leg away from the chest, away from his lower ribs. And give it some massage, starting with his sacrum, all the way towards the knee, grounding this leg. Also, you can plant your hand on the hip crease And with the other one, create some gentle pressure towards the right shoulder. And always try to check with your patient here, with your student. How are you feeling? Is it good? Is the pressure okay? Nice. So again, you can lean over this bolster behind you. Make sure that you have lots of space here in your chest to breathe. And I will use those blocks to create some support for the hand. And the only thing left to do here just to relax and breathe.